Hi guys, John Picarello here, and today I want to talk to you about reimagining your city. Now there's a lot going on with societal transformation, and that's been happening globally, and it's been going on for some time. So when it comes to reimagining your city, how do you go about that? And today I want you to think about a new tomorrow. What does the city look like? Well, being in New York here, if you're in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and any number of the states in the country, wherever you're watching this from, do you ever give thought of how to reimagine the city? What would it look like 20, 30, 40 years from now? Because it's a generational issue. You cannot reimagine the city and do the thing in our lifetime. We can lay the foundation for it, or we can build on a foundation someone else built already and take it to the next level. But it takes at least a generation, approximately 40 years, to change a city. Societal transformation is a project, and it's all about legacy as well. So the first thing it is envisioning a new tomorrow. And I go back to, the 70s in New York City, and I could remember the city traffic the way it was. And you see today where there's cyclists are a common thing. There are bicycle lanes, and I love it, and I'm glad it's like that. But when I was growing up in the city, especially when I visited Manhattan, you didn't see that. And in fact, you took your life in your hands trying to cross the street. So the issue back then wasn't at all biker friendly. So there were enough people, what they would do is they would be after elected officials constantly, because they were imagining a city with more greenery, more parks, and more cyclists, more pedestrians, rather than so many vehicles. And it didn't look like anything was going to change. But over time, by continually pressing individuals in politics, what they would do is they would bring them the facts. They began to investigate accidents and the rate of accidents and the rate of injuries. And they looked at accidents with pedestrians involved, and also, unfortunately, the fatalities and all those injuries. And those statistics began to mount, until finally it began to sway people that we need to do something about this, because it's not just cleaner air, cleaner energy. It's not just all about that. It's about making the city safer. So they reimagined it, and they began the ball rolling, and I heard those talks in the late 70s, early 80s. Well, you have it today, but look at how long it has taken. So it's generational, so you have to be in it for the long haul. So the second thing you want to do also is you need to reach back, and that's why I told that story. In order to reimagine a city, we have to know where we came from, because where we came from is the foundation for where we are today and why we do things the way we do it today. We inherited that from the past. So studying history is very important. So when you go back and study history, learn to replicate the successes and do not repeat the failures. And that is a game plan that goes on generation after generation. We do a great service to the next generation. It's the best societal transformational book we can leave the next generation, is all that we learned from our history as it is and as it was. And the lessons we learned that we want them to repeat, and the failures that we did, and it was unfortunate that things happened that way, but we pass that on to them too and say, do not repeat these. If we try to clean up our history and eliminate things and sort of sanitize it, a lot of cities try to do that. In fact, nations have tried to do that. It never works, simply because once we try to edit history and do away with the things we don't like, we are being dishonest with our posterity. We are being disingenuous with the next generation. The best service we could do for them is tell it like it was. Don't be proud of it, but the fact is, it is what it was. We can't change it. And when we do that, we leave it up to them. But if we remove it, we remove the reference points, and they are now doomed to repeat the failures. Why? Because we took them out of there, and they won't know what not to repeat. So if you want to reimagine your city, think of a better tomorrow, think of what it looks like, be involved with teams who do, but do not sanitize the history. Bring the history, the good and the bad. and bring it so the next generation knows what to emulate and what not to repeat. And that's how you have a better tomorrow. So I hope you begin to reimagining tomorrow in a totally different light. Talk to you next time.